What is up there, SEO pros? Welcome back to part 4 of the local or complete guide to SEO. Today we are continuing the local SEO with how to do a local SEO audit. Now, the reason why we're doing a local SEO audit is so that you guys can kind of get a overview of pretty much all the things we've been talking about in part 2 and part 3, but from a more technical standpoint and also a basic standpoint, just going over all the things that you're going to want to look at when it comes to doing an audit locally. Now, this is going to be very similar to what you would be doing for an audit nationally, which we will be covering in the future. But for now, this should be a really good idea on sort of what to look for, the top ranking factors that we've been talking about, and you'll see as we dive into it. So let me just go into the Google Drive folder that I have. Now, this is a template, and you can get it if you head over to chasereiner.com slash, I think, mastermind, or if you just go over here on the tabs, you should be able to see Chase's private mastermind group, and then you can get that template and fill all this stuff out yourself. Like I'm going to be doing it, but right now it's going to be kind of a little bit of a tutorial on how to use it, and at the same time showing you what to look at when it comes to local SEO. So what I'll do is I'll just go into the Drive. I'll grab the template that we already have, which will go to here, templates, SEO roadmap, and we'll grab the version 2.6, which I believe is right there. Hello, Darren. How you doing? And as usual, if you're not in the Facebook group, I recommend you join it. It is an SEO group for people like yourself. All you have to do is head to the link in the description or go on Facebook and look for the White Hat SEO Network by Chase Reiner. And as usual, I'll also be posting this video in here right now so people can get in here and get notified. So we are live for part 4. And I'm going to go ahead and just use Push Crew really quick as well. Log in, send push notification. There we go. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's just dig into it. So first of all, what you'll see is things you're going to want to fill out. So the way this audit works is it's sort of made to sell. The reason why doing an audit is so important for any client, whether it be local or national, is because you get the ability to sell to that person or that business after you're done doing the audit. So the way I design these this roadmap, whether it be for local or national, I made it so that it's easy to sell once you do it. Now, the way I do it is I go and I record a video, sort of like this video, except it's just the audit, and I send it to the person, or I do it live in front of them, and then I sell to them right after. And I'll show you how that works in at the end of this, but just so that you know, this roadmap template makes it really easy to sell to people, because you're basically taking all the things that's wrong with their website, and then you sell them the roadmap, which is the implementations, and then we have pricing built into that as well in here. So also there's an intake form. If you click on this hamburger menu and then you go to intake form, you'll actually see what the different steps are that I recommend. Sorry, my glasses are a little messed up. Like for instance, recommend SEO audit, and then you just take this, copy all the stuff that you're going to need. Like for instance, can we get the Google Analytics? Can we get the conversion value? How much is currently being made off the website? Just a series of questions to ask people once they get the audit. So we'll just do this for one of our own sites to make it easy, but in the future, if you are going to be doing these audits, you would be sending that to the customer that ordered it. So again, anytime somebody contacts me, the first thing I recommend to them is, if they're looking for SEO consulting, is to create an SEO roadmap or an SEO audit for their website to make it easy to implement. Cool, so let's get into it. So SEO roadmap for, and that would be the name of the person you're doing the audit for, so we'll just say Chase Reiner. Target business is going to be, let's say, let's see what we'll do it for the computer repair business. So computer repair, Santa Barbara. All right. I'm sorry, computer repair shop. The URL would be whatever the URL of the website is, so we'll just do reliablecomputerhelp.com. And this is an old site that I used to have. There we go. Plug it in there. Cool. And next we're going to go over to industry, and we'll just say it's basically the same as target business, you know, PC repair or tech. Business type, local, and then next we have the date, which is the 3rd, so May 3rd. The time, which is 3:47 Pacific Standard. The audit video, so that's what this would be. And the way I do that is I just use OBS to record, and that's really easy. If you don't know how to use OBS, just go ahead and look up a tutorial for that. What's up, Hydra? Welcome. And next we have the content management system, which, you know, we'll say for this one it's Squarespace because that's what it is. Audience targeting, we'll say, you know, local business owners, who knows. And conversion value, we'll say, you know, 1 out of 5 people who converts into a customer is worth about $25. So we'll say, you know, if one person who converts is worth $125 total lifetime value, and it takes 5 people to contact us before, on average, before we get one sale, then we would just divide 125 divided by 5, and that is our final sales price, or our final conversion value. Competitor research. So what you do here is basically what we did in part 3, where we take keywords, we export the keywords, and then we put them in here based on competitors. So, you know, if you have Ahrefs or you have SEMrush, whatever it is, you're basically just signing in. So I'd sign in. We would take, say, for instance, we'll take our own URL first, plug that in there. And then, of course, that's not working because I freaking have to respond to Tim Solo. But we'll say, let's see if SEMrush will do it. Paste. Start. It's crazy. You can't even use SEMrush anymore to do like one crawl. So what you would do is you would take the estimated value wherever that's located, and you would take the URL. So reliable computer help. The next one would be organic monthly traffic. So it would be whatever, you know, the estimated traffic is. So if it says like 128, that would be it. And then the estimated value per month would be whatever the estimated value. You know, 200. We'll say, you know, $500, whatever. And so what you're doing there is you're taking all the different URLs, and the way you find the competitors is really easy. You just figure out whatever they're trying to rank for locally. So let's say, you know, computer repair or virus removal. Generally, people will know. If they don't know, it's, you know, pretty easy to figure that out. All you have to do is just figure out what their, you know, Google My Business is under in terms of the category, and then look that up, and then see who's ranking for that category. So it could be, you know, this computer repair service Santa Barbara. You take a top competitor like that one, grab their URL, do the same thing, plug that in there. And what you're doing is you're comparing your their traffic with their competitors. And this is really helpful, right? Because what's going to end up happening is even if they're getting more traffic than their competitors, you're still going to be able to find keywords that they're probably not ranking for. And why that really shows value to them is because you're understanding a little bit about what's going on with their competitors. When you compare what they're doing with their competitors, people usually look at this from a competitive standpoint more than just a SEO standpoint. So that's why that's first. Next, we have the main keywords. So this is just to give an idea on what the top keywords would be. Most people already know, but sometimes it's a good idea to map those out. So you would just take the top keywords based off the keywords you found on the competitor research. You plug them in right here, and you would say, okay, computer repair Santa Barbara is your top keyword. You know, the percentage difficulty would be whatever you find from, you know, keyword checker like KW Finder. So let's just type in computer repair Santa Barbara. Hydra says, you really need all the fancy tools. I've been looking into them, pretty expensive. I would recommend one tool, either Ahrefs or SEMrush for competitor analysis, and maybe a keyword tool like KW Finder. Anything after that, not super necessary. I would also recommend like a tool like Screaming Frog, but Screaming Frog's free for the first 500 URLs. Those would be the top tools I'd recommend. Anything after that, it's like, there are helpful tools, but that's really the best in my opinion. The tool after that I would probably recommend is Quora. Computer repair Santa Barbara, you can see 480. Percentage difficulty, 32 out of 100. So, and that's not always right. We just put that there just to sort of get an idea. And then the search rate would be, you know, whatever it is, 420. I think that's what it was. I don't remember. 480. And then the estimated page type, you would just say home page. So you just do a few of those just to give them an idea that you know what their keywords are, their main keywords, and it's really easy to find out. Like I said, you just figure out, you know, in your keyword research where people are getting most of their traffic from, and generally it's their home page, and then you just see what home pages are ranking for what keywords, and most of the home pages that are ranking for top competitors will all be the same sort of keywords. Cool. So then we go into Google Analytics. The next part for that is just really just logging into Google Analytics, like so. Oh, thanks for the super chat, Hydra. Hydra's always putting the super chat on there. All right. So you're gonna log into your Google Analytics or your client's Google Analytics, assuming that it ever loads. I don't know what the deal with Google Analytics has been lately. It's been really slow load times. There we go. You're gonna go down to wherever it is, so you can search it. There we go. Cool. And then you're going to acquisition, all traffic, source medium, and the roadmap tells you what to do. If you hover over, I guess this part doesn't tell you, but it tells you right here. User metrics by organic last 3 months. So, gosh darn it. For the first part, what you're going to do is just going to look up basic questions. Are online conversions being tracked? So you would just go into, you know, conversions, goals, overview. And then in here, obviously they're not being tracked, or if you go to admin, you can see if the goals are being tracked, which you can see they are, but they're obviously not firing, either because nobody's contacting them or because it's just not working. So you have the option to put a Z or an X. Z says that the thing that you're doing is wrong, or that, you know, this isn't correct. And then you can put a note next to it. And then X means it's fine, because at the end of the day, what you're going to do is you're just going to sort through all this stuff from Z to X. Pretty easy to do, and at the end of this I'll show you exactly what to do after that. So our offline conversions being tracked, so our calls being tracked. It looks like they are, but that's not working, so we'll put a Z. Our conversion values being tracked properly. Does that, so, you know, are the conversion values correct? You know, if I say on my goal that this goal is worth $25, is that correct? And the way you can tell is just by cross-checking, you know, asking the client, right? So we'll say Z, no, because there's not even a goal there, or it's not working. Our thank you page is being properly utilized with additional assets. So when somebody redirects to a thank you page for the conversion, is that working correctly? Or is there, you know, more information about, like, you know, thanks for contacting us, make sure to, you know, give us a text as well, or whatever it is. We're not doing that, so no. Autoresponders properly being utilized with additional assets, no. Online conversion values, this is just for benchmarking. We're going to skip that. Just put NAs on there. Hydra says, so what's the best way to start tracking your competitors' keywords? Just make bigger, better content. Oh, tackling. Yes, I mean, it's a bunch of stuff. It's about all the stuff we've been talking about, right? There isn't one set way. Generally, it's about creating authority, user experience, and targeting user intent in a way that is better than your competitors. All right, so next we got user metrics by organic last 3 months. So what we're going to do is go to analytics, go to acquisition, all traffic, source medium. Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. Audience overview. We're going to go in here and sort by the last 3 months. So let's go start there, and then go back 1, 2, 3. There we go. So now we're going to filter this from all users to organic, because that's what we're interested in. So you can see here it says 8 organic visitors in the last 3 months. So let's go now look at that user demo, or the user data. So if we go to demographics, overview, you know, it'll give us information. Obviously there isn't enough data for this site, so we're going to change it from just organic to all traffic. Like I said, if there's not enough data, then you're going to want to do all traffic. But if there is, then you're going to want to do by organic. So you're going to take these different stuff. So, 155 organic traffic by last 3 months. So obviously this isn't just organic. So we're just going to say all traffic by last 3 months. Put that there. And like I said, this is really to set benchmarks. New users. Oops. Next we have average session duration. And like I said, this isn't just for us, it's also for the client to be able to see this data. A lot of them don't even know that their average session duration is only 30 seconds on their site. That's terrible. So we want to be able to show them that. And we also want to be able to show improvements to that as we work on their site. So bounce rate, boom, conversion rates. Conversion rates, you go into here, you go to conversions, goals, overview. And then it would give you the stuff, but we obviously don't have that. So we're just going to say 0. Estimated goal value, 0. So cool. So now we go to demographics. We just go back up here. Audience, demographics, overview. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to export, Google Sheets, import data. There we go. We're going to take all that. So you can see here, all the age ranges, male and female. Put that in there. Next, we go to interests. Go back over here. Go down to interests, overview. Export, same thing, Google Sheets. Import data. Here we go. Grab all this. Boom. Copy. Go back to the audit. Plug it in. And, I say this a lot, or I say this often to people I'm teaching how to do the audit. You can have somebody do this before you do all this on a video or in front of a client if you'd like. It does take a little bit to do this, but it's totally worth it at the end of the day because you're going to be able to really impress them with all the data that you have. And like I said, a lot of this is really around selling. It's about benchmarking, but it's also around selling, because if you can show people that you understand all this information about their audience, you're going to be way more likely to sell to those people, because people really like to know that you understand their audience more than they like to know that you understand SEO. So, shopper, value shopper, so people who like deals, so it'd be good to have discount codes on the site, or coupons, which is usually because it's an older generation. Lifestyle and hobbies, people who are into technology, all that kind of stuff. So next we have locations. So for locations, all we do is we go to geo, overview. And for location on local, we're obviously going to do it for the city because we're not interested in these other places because it's a local site. So we go there, United States, and then we go to the place that we're in, which is California, and then export that stuff. So boom. And there isn't a lot of data on this site. I haven't worked on this site in a really long time. So if you guys are wondering why is there nobody on this site, that's the reason why. So copy all that. Plug it in. Cool. So that's pretty much it. The only other thing you're going to look at is the new versus returning session duration, stuff like that. Desktop versus mobile. You're basically just going to keep filtering through all this stuff. So keep going through here, behavior, technology, that kind of thing. Cool. So next what you're going to do is you're going to export all the top pages by traffic. And the way you do that is just go to behavior, site content, all pages. Whew. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and export all these pages again. There it is. Copy. Paste it right in there. Cool. So, These are the top pages, obviously, like we said. You know, and then it'll also give us the different stats around those, like what the bounce rates are, average time on page, stuff that we could probably easily improve and show value for in the near future. Cool, so the only other thing is the analytics intelligence under the analytics. So what you do is just click on intelligence, look at, you know, if there's any important things that Google's identifying that's going on with the website. Obviously there isn't a lot here, so we're just gonna skip that. So now what we do is we conduct our basic audit. This is going to be, like I said, very similar to the national audit. First thing you're going to do is open up Screaming Frog. If you don't have Screaming Frog, as I said earlier, you know, this is a free tool. It's easy to get. So once that's open, we're going to take our URL of the website, and we're going to start crawling through that website. So while that's going, we're going to start checking these things, like does the site redirect to the preferred version? You know, is there a robots.txt file? Is there anything wrong with it? Does the site have a sitemap? All the basics you're going to want to look at when, you know, it comes to website basics. So let's look at, first of all, whether or not the site redirects to the preferred version. So we go here, you know, take out all of this, and then see if that redirects back. It does. Now let's take out the W's. Does that redirect? Yes, it does. So it looks like the site redirects to the preferred version, so we're good there. Now the next thing we're going to want to look at is the robots.txt. So for that, just type in the name of the website /robots.txt. And it looks like everything on here has a sitemap. Looks like it's disallowing things that shouldn't be allowed. And that all looks good. So we're just going to go ahead and give that an X and say that's good. Let's see if the website has a sitemap. So for that, same thing, /sitemap.xml. Ooh, and it doesn't have a sitemap. So for that, we're going to leave a Z. Cool. So fave icon. Obviously, there's no fave icon here. It's the default Squarespace icon. So we're going to put a Z. Does the site have AMP, accelerated mobile pages? We're going to put a not applicable because we're not going to use that for a local site. If you guys don't know what some of this stuff means, we'll be covering a lot of it later on. CTA above the fold. Let's see if there's a call to action above the fold on the homepage. Looks like there is. Good. So we're going to put an X. Now we look at other things like indexation, site architecture, page speed optimization, site-wide on-page issues. A lot of this stuff is easy to do if you already know how to check this stuff and whether or not, you know, certain things are good or bad. In terms of what things are which are good and which are bad, you know, we could talk about all of these individual things in way more detail. We could talk, you know, a lot about, you know, whether or not having a call to action above the fold is a good idea to have on blog pages, landing pages, you know, what kind of call to actions should we have? You know, call to actions for email signups? Should we have call to actions for, you know, buy now? And should those call to actions be pop-outs or should they just be direct opt-ins? You know, that's just one thing. So the problem with these courses is that, you know, it's really hard to talk about all of these different things in extreme detail. If you don't know how to do a lot of this stuff, like say for instance, check the indexation on whether or not there's multiple categories per post, what the, you know, whether or not having an author is okay for a blog, and whether or not you should index multiple pages, all that kind of stuff. You know, I would recommend following one of the SEO audit videos that I did. So if you go to YouTube and just type in SEO audit, Chase Reiner SEO audit, I go into more detail on whether or not certain things are acceptable. We have tons of different videos on here. What I would recommend though also is sticking around for these tutorials, because I will be doing an audit on a national site on my own website in the near future, and it will be part of the series, and I'll be talking in more depth on why these things are good to do or not. In terms of the local audit though, besides all of these different things that you're going to want to look at, you're also going to really want to look at more specific things that are usually just for local. Hold on, Hydra says you should set up some kind of affiliate program for your courses. I'm already showing a few people the stuff I've learned from you. It would be cool to be able to push your courses for a little cut. Yeah, so I mean, that's definitely open right now. If somebody gets a course sale for me, I will definitely, you know, shoot them a kickback. I just don't have that set up yet. Hydra says, is the spreadsheet free? I didn't see it on your site unless I missed it. So the spreadsheet, like I said at the beginning of this, is under the mastermind group, and it's a $49 a month group, which you also get the templates in it. It's under SEO resources, Chase's mastermind group. And Hydra says, yeah, I'm out of the videos to watch, bro. Step it up. That's crazy. I feel like it'd be pretty hard to go through all the videos, but maybe you did. Cool. So here we go. These are all basic things you're going to want to look at on the site. You know, are images missing alt tags? You know, to check that, it's pretty easy. All you do is just, you know, go through Screaming Frog, you know, go to images like so. Missing alt text looks like there's 0, so that's fine. You would put an X there. And then you would just continue through all that list, right? Image file URLs, you know, is there anything wrong with them? Looks like, you know, they're not really being very descriptive. So yeah, we should go ahead and change those, and so on and so on. Once you do all that, you're going to keep going through the roadmap. Start looking at certain things like schema markup, like which we talked about in the previous episodes, and then Google My Business Optimization, and stuff that's more specific to local. So the top things, as we discussed, I believe in part 2, to local are like reviews, Google My Business Optimization, title tags, citations, all that good stuff. So the way you check that stuff is really easy. The way I check it is I just have certain tools. So for instance, if we were to go through this roadmap and go to things like around specifically to local on Google My Business, first of all, we want to check, you know, basic stuff. Does it have a physical address? Yes, we'll put an X. Is it a service location? No, so we'll put an X. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, correct hours. Are all the hours on there the same that are matching the website? We'll just put an X. Are the correct categories on there, or are there multiple categories like there should be for that organization or that business? We'll just put an X. I'm just giving you examples. Responding to reviews, yes or no? Yes. Keyword stuff, title tag, no. Okay, so in terms of the tools I would be looking at now, one of the tools would be something like Moz Local. So if we go to moz.com/local, and we go to Moz Local here, check my listing, and we start looking at, let's say, reliable computer help. Uh, 93101. And generally this stuff will pop up, but it might be because it's actually a service area that it's not. We'll just press check my listing. There it is. Sorry, reliable computer repair, Santa Barbara. There we go. 61 out of 100 current score. So this is basically just looking at how consistent the citations are, which we talked about earlier. The name, the address, the phone number, or the website URL, how consistent that is across different local indexing platforms like Facebook, like Google My Business, like Yellow Pages, like Yelp, and whether or not, you know, that stuff is actually even being listed. So if there's not even something showing for that, it'll just be completely grayed out. Now the first thing that you can start doing is you can either just buy this service and they'll just aggregate your data across all these different sources, or you can just go in, click on these different tabs, and then go do it yourself. So you can see incomplete. It says I'm on Hot Frog, missing 5 photos, and I need to add 5 more categories. So what I would do is I would just click on update listing, and then in here I would just go ahead and fill out the information. If I don't have the login stuff for this, then that might be a little bit more difficult, but generally it's pretty easy to do. Now, the next thing that I'm going to want to look at is Whitespark. So the reason why I want to look at Whitespark is because I want to see not only how consistent my citations are on the top local indexing platforms, because this is only like 10 local indexing platforms, but how many citations I have across all indexing platforms or all websites. And the way you do that is you go into Whitespark, you go into your account, sign in, go to local citation finder. We're going to enter our location, Santa Barbara. Enter our key phrase, computer repair, press search. Now, if your business isn't in the top 10 results of Google the local map pack, then you're going to want to go to business search and enter all your information in there, which I usually have to do for a lot of businesses because businesses generally don't always have information or aren't always ranking on Google My Business, God, I'm having such a hard time, on the local maps. And the reason for that is because that's why they're hiring us, right? If they were ranking pretty well, they probably wouldn't be hiring us. So you let that load, takes a little bit. While that loads, I'll answer Hydra. Hydra says, what is considered keyword stuffing? I couldn't really find a clear answer. How many is too many? I'm using my keywords only where they apply, but it seems like a lot. So keyword stuffing is only relevant to the average keyword count or keyword reoccurring count based on the search phrase. So some search phrases, it's very normal to be mentioning the same keyword 100 times. For whatever reason, right? I don't know why that you would mention the same keyword 100 times on a page for one intent versus another, but there are reasons, right? So if you go and see that all of these different pages, which is why Quora is so handy, are all mentioning a keyword 50 times per page on average, the amount of words per page is around 600 or 6,000, whatever it is, then you know that you should probably match that because the intent is to find that. Now, if you're just thinking about things from a search engine standpoint, you're probably going to go wrong. You need to look at it from a user intent standpoint. Why would there be this word mentioned 500 times on a page or 100 times on a page? And why would there be 5,000 words on this page in order for it to rank? Why is that? So it depends on the intent. It doesn't just depend on whether or not it's okay to keyword stuff. A lot of things are not okay if you're just doing them for search engines and not thinking about the reason why you're actually doing them, because at the end of the day, it translates to search engines wanting to give the best possible experience to the people. So computer repair Santa Barbara, let's view the sources. And in here we can see right here, number 2, we have 72 citations and everybody else has, however many. If you pay for this, you're actually going to be able to see the actual citations that these different people have and then build off of those. The way I like to build citations is I just use Citation Builder Pro, and they build all the citations for you. They also correct citations. And I think if you do Citation Builder Pro / chasereiner.php or something along those lines, you'll actually be able to get a discount for this. And what they do is they go out and build all these citations for you, correct the citations, and then they go ahead and actually send you a report of all the citations they built or fixed, which is really good for white label. If you're going to be doing SEO services for a client, you want to send them all that stuff later. Super awesome to be able to just send all that stuff and only be paying like $60 for that with the discount. Chase Reiner SEO, Chase Reiner citations. Trying to get the link for you guys. There it is. And there it is. So I'll just put that in the chat and then also put that in the description. Cool. So next what we're going to look at is what else we're going to want to do when it comes to local audit. Besides the basic stuff, obviously wanting to see 3x images of the services that people provide, people at work, the inside of the location, the outside location, the team photos if there's multiple people within the organization or business, and then also labeling the files correctly. So if we see just like on a website, a bunch of images are not labeled how they should be, we want to go in and change those to what they are. So if you have outside picture location, you would change that to, rename properties outside of our location. Now, whether or not you need to put geotagging and stuff like that in there, I don't think is necessary. If you want to do that, you can, but I've heard in the past that Google doesn't actually care about the geotagging. They might have used to, but other local indexing platforms actually, I've heard it does help, like Yelp and Yellow Pages apparently helps you rank there. Some other stuff is like, review strategy. Are these people getting reviews? How do we go and get reviews? The way that I always go out and recommend getting reviews is to either message current clients or past clients, obviously, or teach videos like this. As you guys know, we have a Facebook group. This is what I say. Go ahead and join that. Whoever goes and joins the Facebook group, which I'm assuming most of you guys who are watching this video are in the Facebook group, I can go in here, go to White Hat SEO Network, go sort by members, if we go here, and look at, when people's join dates are. So you can see here, everybody's joined. This person, was just in this stream earlier. I think he might still be in it. And if we scroll down, we can look at people who've been here since a couple months ago. So they've obviously been seeing my stuff in the Facebook group, probably interacting with it. They've been here for a little while. So what I do is then I go and message them. I say, hey, let's just say, for instance, Robert, hey, Robert, I saw you were in the White Hat SEO Network group on Facebook. I'm assuming you've seen some of my tutorials. I was wondering if you could leave me a quick review on what I teach on Google. Thanks in advance, Chase. And then I would grab that, take the Google My Business listing. So Chase Reiner, just Google whatever shows up for my Google listing. Copy the review link. All you have to do is just click on it, copy it, and then bring it over into here. And there you go. When they click on it, pops up with the reviews. This is how you can start getting reviews. This is how I was able to get 262 mostly 5-star reviews for the stuff I teach. And really, it's almost better than getting client reviews, because when you get reviews from people who know what you're talking about, say, for instance, you were teaching how to do plumbing, or you're teaching how to do iPhone repair, whatever it is, these people are going to appreciate what you do so much more because you gave them free stuff. For instance, you guys might want to go and leave me a review right now. And what that would do is it would go and it would endorse me. It would help me rank higher. And you can use this for pretty much any business. So that's what I recommend clients. Content marketing is super powerful. You get visitors out of it. You get remarketing. And you can do so much more by taking a national audience and building it into a local strategy. So we're going to talk more about how to do content marketing and build a national audience through video, kind of like how I did and stuff like that. But just what you need to know for the moment is pretty much this. This is a great way to start building reviews, start building, the ability to mark up your pages, all that good kind of stuff. So, there's some other things that you can audit in terms of local business, like, are they using posting now? Are they updating their business with descriptions? All this new stuff that's coming out with Google My Business. But, overall, a lot of this stuff's very similar. The whole point of it is to get sort of an idea on what to, do for a client. And then what you do is at the end of the audit, you duplicate the spreadsheet. And what you're going to do is you're going to filter up here from Z to A. Now what this does is it shows you all the things that you found that are wrong with the website, like the things listed in Z, and then all the things that are going right with the website, like X. And what you do is you say, okay, Chase, say I was selling to myself, or say I was selling to another person named Chase. This is what you need to do. First of all, we need a fave icon. First of all, we need a sitemap, whatever it is. Now, generally, the first thing you're going to want to give to help these people with is not a sitemap or a fave icon, maybe a sitemap. Generally, the first things you're going to want to fix are like, major errors, like, not having analytics, or, not having a page speed time that's above or below like 2 seconds, right? If there's certain things going on with the website that are way bigger errors in terms of UX or content related issues or duplicate content, stuff like that, you're going to want to fix those first before you go and do on page or do link building, whatever it is. So what you do is you bring out this priority checklist and you go, first of all, your page speed time is way too high. It's at 10 seconds. We need to fix that. Next thing we need to do is we need to, take off duplicate content from site, because all of the pages on your website are duplicate content, which is obviously a problem. Next, we have to do basic on-page SEO and fix all the title tags, whatever it is, right? You're just giving them a top 10 list to start with, and then what you do is you bring out your pricing, which we have some here, package inputs, and you say, okay, this is where you are. You just bought the audit for $247. Next, I want to do keyword research for you. I want to fix the small structural problems with your website, make sure there's no 301s, no 404s, I want to set up, you know, remarketing, so on and so on. If you guys don't know how to do all this stuff, we'll be covering it later on. But overall, you know, this is sort of a good idea on what to look at first. Perform a local audit once you know the basics of this stuff, so that you can go and start selling, start getting your website's ranking based on all the stuff that's in here and all that good stuff. So, you know, this may have been a little bit too far ahead for some people who are, you know, getting brand new to SEO, and, you know, part 4 being this local SEO audit. But I'm telling you, you know, once you sort of look at all the stuff that is in this audit, you're going to have a very good understanding of, you know, what to sell, how to fix problems, what are the main problems to look at. And we will be covering more audits in the future, but just so you know, this is sort of the first place I would start when actually going and optimizing a local website. Hydra gave me another super chat for 10 bucks. Thanks, Hydra. He said, thanks for all the answers. Thank you for sticking around. David says, if you think it could be keyword stuffing, it probably is. I'd say try use the synonyms maybe. So like I said, it all depends on user intent, right? We already talked about it. Hydra says, does alt text need to match exactly what the images are? For example, a random SEO image with the alt text local SEO. No, so you don't want to keyword stuff there. What you want to do, when you see an image on a website, you see that image. When blind people see an image on the website, they don't see it. They're blind. So you want to make it actually for blind people. If it's an image of a person, make it picture of guy walking or whatever it is. Don't say picture of guy wearing Target keyword blue shirt in location keyword. You know, just make it what it is. And if, you know, you're wondering about what this hover text is, which is the title attribute, this is just for people to set expectations on what people are going to click through to. So if you see this hover, this is basically, okay, SEO expert Chase Renner, highest rated SEO worldwide on Google. Click on it. That's what I'm to expect. Now, if that's not where it goes to, then there's a problem. So the title tag is meant for hover text so that people can see where they're expected to click through to. Alt text is meant for blind people who cannot see. If there happens to be a keyword in that alt tag, you know, great, but we need to get away from purposely stuffing keywords and alt text into pages just for the purpose of search engines. We need to do things for websites and people like we were meant to. And generally, when you look at things from a user experience standpoint and a user intent standpoint, you will end up being able to rank things really easily, even if it's not to a T of the exact keyword density or whatever it is, because we're actually thinking in terms of people, not just search engines. Hydra says, gotcha. Cool. So that's it for today, guys. That's part 4. If you like this series, make sure you leave a thumbs up and let me know. I will be seeing you guys soon in the near future for part 5, where we will be covering probably a more in-depth audit on sort of what to look for when you're doing these audits. And there's a ton of more stuff we got to cover in the future. So I hope you guys are enjoying this stuff. Make sure you let me know in the comments what you would also perhaps like to see me cover. We will be covering stuff all around SEO, local SEO, you know, technical SEO, but it really comes down to also sort of where you guys are with this stuff. I don't know if I'm going too fast or too slow, so definitely let me know in the comments, and I'll try to make the course as best as I can to cater to what you guys actually want. So thank you guys again for joining me. Until I see y'all next time, happy SEOing.